Hello, how's it going today? My name is Travis, and we are going to be going over how to create a count up timer for your level here in Unreal Engine. So first off, we are going to start by getting our levels open. I have mine here. It has just a little bit of foliage, some sculpted landscape, and some material on it. From here, we are going to pop into our character blueprint. I have a third-person character blueprint. You could have something else. I believe it would work in all of them. I actually have not tested it, but it should be a general way to do this that works in any of the character blueprints. So I'm going to click into my third-person character blueprint here, and when that opens, we are going to start by creating a function. So now that we have this open, we are going to, here, let me full screen this. We are going to create a function input right here on the left-hand side under functions. Click the plus sign. This will be called a timer function. The reason we are doing this is because we are going to call this function on a timer. So we will be able to call it every second, and on that timer we are going to put that in the event graph later on. To start this timer function, we are going to add a variable inside of our blueprint. So click the plus sign on the variable, call this timer, and we are going to change our variable type to something that you do not see here, called time code, and it'll be the second one down here, time code for you. If you compile and save, you will see the readout under timer here that looks like hours, minutes, seconds, and milliseconds, something of that nature. Going from there, you can drag out your timer and get your timer. After getting your timer, drag out from your timer and do set members in timecode. This guy right here. Click that and plug in there. So right click and do restore all structure pins. This will split it into your hours, minutes, seconds, and frames. So I guess those are the actual splits for those 4 sections there. But this is going to be where you can actually start setting up your timer and having it work for you, counting up your seconds and your minutes. If you need to go into the hours, I don't go into that on this, but you will follow the same general setup to have the hours increment upwards as well. So to start here, we have our set members and time code. We are going to promote our seconds to a variable and our minutes to a variable. You can go ahead and detach those right now, but we do need the variables as they are. From there, we are going to get our seconds variable. Make sure these are both set at 0 here, your minutes and your seconds. Our seconds, we are going to add, and we could, say increment up by 1, but that's not going to work because with our timer at the end of our level, if we want it to stop, we need it to be a variable, and we are going to create a variable called add seconds that we can change instead of having it as a set input there. So add seconds, we are going to change this from timecode to integer. Take your integer, add seconds, and get seconds, plug that into your second part of your add node. Compile, save, change your add seconds to 1 for now. And then out of here, do set seconds and you'll get that there. Your set seconds, I'm going to pull this back a little bit. Have your set seconds there come out of, be set by your out pin of your node, your addition node here. To plug this set seconds node in, since you need it to be executed, you will take the out of the set members in timecode into the in of the set seconds here. After that, you are going to get a branch. This will check a condition for us. This condition will be set up here in a second, and it'll actually be if our seconds is equal to 60, and if it's equal to 60, we will increment our minutes up. So to set that, we will get our seconds, get seconds, do an equal node, set that to 60, and plug that into our condition up top here. After that, coming out of the true, you will get your minutes. You will increment this up. You can also technically do a plus or addition node. It works the same. In this case, we are not going to be changing this in any way, but this just adds one every time that you increment it up. So we will do that there. After you increment this up, you will do set minutes and plug in the out pin of the increment node to your minutes. And finally, make sure you set your seconds here. Set your seconds back to 0, or else it'll keep ticking up past 60 to 61 to 62 and so on. And finally, plug in your out pin of your set minutes into your minutes. I did not plug in my set seconds either, so I'll make sure I do that out of my set seconds to the left here. Plug that in. This will be all set as your timer function now. So you have your timer function, your timer variable, which is a time code variable, do set members in time code, and you will have to restore your structure pins. After that, you can promote minutes and seconds to variables as well. You can use your seconds plus an addition node with a new variable that is called add seconds to set your seconds and increment them up. And then it will check with this branch if your seconds are equal to 60, which would be a whole minute. And if it is, it'll increment your minutes upwards as well and reset your seconds to 0. So with that, we can go back to our event graph here, and in the event graph, out of our begin play, as this already has some stuff, we can just go to the end here. So out of our begin play and the add mapping context, we will set timer by function name, function name, that one there. So we have our function name to the left we just created called timer function. Be sure you are exact with that name because Unreal is very picky, and if you have even like a space in the wrong area, something is not capitalized correctly, it will not read it properly. So with this, we have a timer set for our function. Your time, you can do 1 second. Some people do 0.999 seconds just to make it, I guess, a touch bit early, but you can do 1 second there. And make sure you click on looping or else you only get one play of this going. Compile and save that. And now we will create a widget to display this on our game, on our screen here. So in our content drawer, I'm going to just go up to content, right click, user interface, widget blueprint. I will then click user widget underneath of this here. And under that, we can create our main widget W. You can call it whatever you would like. This is just what I'm going to call it for my little map here. Double click to get into that and open that up. Inside of here, your first thing will be create a canvas panel. Canvas panel, drag and drop that out here. After that, create a horizontal box. Horizontal box. With this, you can zoom in, drag this horizontal box to the center here, or what I would say is the center about. You can change your anchors to the center top there, or, if you want it in the top right or top left, bottom right, bottom left, bottom center, middle of the screen, whatever you want. You can change your anchors there, position your horizontal box there, and that will be all set for you. So I'm going to leave it right where I have it. It's about center. It's good enough for me. Next thing I'm going to do is put text into this horizontal box here. This text will be dragged and dropped into there. Click on your text box, go fill, center there. The size I am going to change in just a second here under font. You can change that. I'm going to do, say, 50 just to make it look a little bit bigger. This, obviously, it looks like my text will be off, so I can change my horizontal box and change my, there we go, my position X to drag and drop that over. So this will be timer. This will be our in-game timer. We'll have a separate one for our end game, which will be like the end of the level, display exactly how much time it took you to get through. So do that there. We will have this timer in our game in the center here. We will then bind this timer, create a binding. Inside of this binding, you can drag this return node to the right here. We will cast to our character. So I'm going to cast to my BP third person character. Make sure out of object you get your player character reference, and that'll be set there. Out of BP third person character, make sure you get your timer. Get timer is going to be the node here. Don't get your timer function, but get your timer right here. And then out of the return node for return value, drag out and do format text. That'll help you get the right readout on your screen. For the text format, you can do time, colon, wiggly brackets or whatever they're called. Then you just need to call this whatever you would like. Timer amount, I guess, is what I will call it here, just for something. And make sure you end this with a curly bracket as well. I ended it with a regular bracket and it did not do it right. So if you do a curly bracket, you'll see I have a pin that will pop up for me, and it did not happen before because of that. Plug in your timer to your, you're going to have to change this timer to string. Yes, time code to string. and then you'll take the out of this return value to your timer amount, which will print it out for you in your numbers. So now that we have this set up, we have our designer set up with our timer. If we go into our character, we can set up this with our create widget. We can add our widget we just created. Mine is called main. Oh, it's right there. Widget W. And then make sure you add this to your viewport, or else it will not show up. Connect your return value here. Compile, save that. Compile, save this. And we are going to test this. I should have a working timer now on my screen that is displayed. No way to stop it currently, but I will go over that in just a minute. So click play, click in, and you have a timer that counts up after you click into your game here. As you can see, it counts up every second for me. So I can sit here and let it go up. If you would like, I'm going to let it go up to a minute. I'll speed up this time during the actual video. So as you can see, after the seconds reached 60, it incremented up the minute and reset the seconds to 0. This is going to be your readout for you on the time. I will now go over how to create a win screen or an end screen, tier level say, and one that ends your time code and will show your timer amount or your time amount for your level on that win screen there. So with that, let's go back to our main widget and go back to the widget with your timer in it. Underneath of this, on the canvas panel, I am going to create a background blur. You can drag and drop that on the canvas panel if you would like. And you can, with this background blur, you can go and set the anchors to the full screen. And make sure you reset your offset right and offset bottom to 0 and 0. And now you can change your blur strength if you would like. Anything over 10 is probably fine. I mean, even over like 5 is probably okay. But if you want to be a little extreme, you can do like, say, 50 for you, just to make sure there's nothing out in the screen you're going to see. We are going to take that background blur. The way I do this is, after adding my background blur, I will add a horizontal box to the background blur. The horizontal box can be filled to the length of it. Underneath the horizontal box, I will add a vertical box. Technically, I will end up adding 3 of them total. So you can duplicate that twice and then go to fill and center it. Actually, you will not center it. I apologize. Fill and then go to fill on the last one. You will have 3 separate boxes here now. I will mainly focus on the one in the middle here. So click your second box. Inside of this box, I will put another horizontal box. This horizontal box can be centered to alignment. In auto, I will pad it 100, and then I will drop text into it. This will show me my total time amount. So change the text to total time. And you can go ahead now and bind your text here. So create another binding. This one is going to be exactly the same as your other one, except the return node will have a different readout to it. So with this one, you're going to cast to your character blueprint. You're going to get your object, which is your player character. You will then, out as your player character, get your timer variable from your character. You will, out of the return node, do format text again. This text will be formatted a touch bit differently, but remember to change to string, timecode to string for that. Your text will be total time colon curly bracket time total time. We can do that. Total. Or just total curly bracket. So do out of the return value then total for you. You will have this set up here. It will give you a readout of what the timer is when it is stopped and activated here. So that is great. We have this set up here. We have our total time with a background blur set up for our windscreen. If you would like, you can rename this background blur to windscreen. And then you will have to do just a couple of things here. So you will have to make this a variable and scroll down within your windscreen or your background blur and set this from non-testable invisibility under behavior to hidden to start. It'll be hidden. Initially, you will activate it when your level ends, or however you do it. I will have it by overlapping a box collision. And after you overlap that box collision, it will stop your timer and display your little windscreen here. So go to the graph. We have our two different functions here. And then we have our event graph. Within our event graph, you can delete the current nodes that are there. We are going to create a custom event called win. And under this, we are going to take our win screen and simply set the visibility to visible. You can do this a few other ways. There are ways to animate this. There are ways to, have buttons on your widget and things, but I am just showing the timer aspect of it. So we will set this visibility after we overlap a box collision, and that will show us our total time. So compile and save to that, and we are set here now with our win screen. You can now entirely close your widget if you would like, and within our player character, now inside of our character blueprint, we need to do one important thing. Out of our create main widget, or your widget inside of your player character, out of the return value pin, drag out and promote this to a variable. Call this main widget ref, and that will be a main widget reference. After your add to viewport, set that as your main widget reference. You will need that to reference your widget inside of your end game box collision overlap that I am going to create right now. So minimize this, back to your content drawer. I am going to create a blueprint class actor. This actor will be win game. Win game BP. Double click that to open it. Underneath of our win game BP, I'm going to add a box collision. And that will be this guy right here for you. I will set that there. I will also add a cube. A cube, I'm going to scale this down to 0.6 so it fits inside the box. I am also going to scroll down and set the collision to no collision. This is just for viewing, so you can actually see exactly where this box collision is within your game when you are playing, as the outliner will not show. We can change the shape material to something else if you have something lined up, or you can just change it to something that is preset on the game here. I'll do basic asset number 1, which is this orange. Now that you have that there, you can go and click your box collision here, and within this, I'm going to delete these. I'm going to right click, add event for box collision, add on component, begin overlap. The first thing we will do will be cast to our character blueprint. I'm going to do my third person character blueprint. Out of object, get player character again. That is going to work great for us. As our third person character, we are going to set our add seconds variable to 0. This will stop our timer for us and stop adding seconds to our timer, which will obviously not add minutes either then. And after this, we will go again as our third person character and get our main widget reference. This is why we needed to create this. Under this main widget reference, we are going to call our custom event we just created, which is called win, and we are going to have that pop up at the end there. So now that we have this set, it should, upon overlapping our box, we should cast to our third person character, change our add seconds to 0, and then show our win screen or our end level screen, which will show our total time that it took to complete our level. So save that, compile that. You are done with blueprinting now. We are going to go back out here. We are going to click X on this. You have your win game here. I'll set it just over on this hill, so it'll take me a couple of seconds to get over here. I can click play, look around, add some seconds up, run around for a second, and let me navigate over to this little orange brick here. When I overlap the orange brick, it should end my timer and show my screen. So end timer, show my screen. I didn't show you how to do input on this, but you have your total time there, showing that it took me 19 seconds to reach my end goal. So as you see there, I have 19 seconds as my total time. It has stopped my total time for me. I did not show you how to do input, so as you can also see, I am still moving the camera in the background here. I could still jump, I could still run around if I wanted to. You can change that within your various blueprints there, but that is it for now. This is how to set up a timer that counts up within your game and ends when you finish your level with a box collision or an overlap event. I appreciate you all watching. If this was helpful, or if you liked the channel, or if you liked the video even, please like, subscribe, and let me know any thoughts and comments that you have. If you hated it also, or you thought something could be changed, if you like something that I want to do or have any suggestions, please shoot them my way, and have a great day. Thank you all very much. Take care.